Take from the dresser of deal, that's a cheap pine dresser, lacking the 3 glass knobs. So this dresser is missing some knobs. It's not a very rich kind of piece of furniture. It's poor, it's simple, it's falling apart even. Take from the dresser of deal, lacking the 3 glass knobs, that sheet on which she embroidered fantails once. Oh, well, who is this? She comes along. So she is going to be explained more in the next few lines, but apparently there's a woman who embroidered. That means like stitched, kind of like cross stitching or needlepoint. She sewed with little silk threads pictures of birds on this sheet. All right, so we have a sheet. Now let's see what they're going to do with the sheet. Take from that dresser the sheet. So in the dresser, in a drawer probably, they had to go get the sheet. That sheet on which she embroidered fantails once, and spread it so as to cover her face. Oh, well, if you're going to cover someone with a sheet and cover their face as well, well, this is the first clue that what we're covering is a body and that this woman has died. And spread it so as to cover her face. If her horny feet protrude, they come to show how cold she is and dumb. Now, her horny feet means her gnarled feet. Maybe she has bunions and calluses, so her feet are not pretty. They're well-worn feet. She's old. If her feet protrude, they come to show how cold she is. So the body is cold, she's dead. And dumb does not mean stupid, it means unable to speak. So, of course, being dead, she cannot talk. Then we have the last couple of lines, which are just as cryptic as those other 2 lines that ended the previous stanza. Let the lamp affix its beam. The only emperor is the emperor of ice cream. Let the lamp affix its beam sounds to me like we want to shine the light on this event or on experience, on life, and see the truth of things. When you shine the light, you find out what is actually there. In shadow, you can kind of wonder, what am I really looking at? What is that? But as soon as you shine the light, you're going to have knowledge and find out the truth. So he says, let the lamp affix its beam, which is like pointing the light right there. Let the lamp do its job, which is to light up something specific, something particular, that is the corpse. So let's look squarely at the fact of death. Let's not run from the reality of death. Let's look at it like the light that's going to shine on it, put a spotlight on it. And then let's remind ourselves the only emperor is the emperor of ice cream. Again, I think that message of the temporary comes across, especially now that we've seen the body. So here's this corpse in the room. They put the sheet over it. Apparently we're at a funeral or a wake, and this ceremony, these people are gathering to remember the person who has died, the loved one who has passed. And by putting the body in the poem and then saying, let the light affix its beam, and let's look at that body, look at those feet, gnarled and horny feet, and let's not turn away or pretend not to see that. Let's look at it. And then to say the only emperor is the emperor of ice cream. It seems to me that the emperor must be reminded that you can't be emperor of anything permanent, only what's temporary. Because look at this corpse. Take a good look. And emperor, this is all you can be emperor of. What's passing, not permanent. Now, as far as the other idea I have about the emperor line, that it might be you can only control your own pleasure. That could work here too, because we've seen what happens. We die, we've looked with that fixed light at the corpse, and now we're reminded, hey, you only have the power to please yourself. You only have you're in control of your own happiness, but nothing else. Death is a fact of life. This is part of living, and you might as well just be the emperor of ice cream. You might as well enjoy your life. Don't be fake and don't pretend that death isn't there, but have control over your own happiness. I can see that as well. Now, back to this idea about what the modernists were doing. Remember, I said that they wanted to show people in the poem actual images out of life and not interpret them too much, but just put them out there. Well, if we're just putting out there people gathering for the wake who are busy making ice cream, bringing flowers, and then we have this corpse, we have a pretty clear experience of life and then death. So the first stanza is all about the people who are alive. The second stanza is about the corpse. First we're in the kitchen where lots of nourishment is made. Then we're out in this other room where the body is. So I think we're, in modernist style, we're just being shown, here's this room, here's these people, here's this other room, here's this other person. We see life, we see death. And Stephen's big message somehow is the only emperor is the emperor of ice cream. Now, some people have said, well, who is the emperor? And some people have answered that the emperor is the poet or a guest at the wake who comes to see the corpse, who comes to eat the ice cream, or the person who directs these activities and says, oh, call the muscly guy to make the ice cream, call the winches, bring the boys, let's do this thing that we normally do to honor the dead or to celebrate the life of the departed one. So the emperor could be the person in charge of this ceremony, in charge of the community, a leader in the community. But I tend to think more that it's just a guest, and that there is no emperor of anything that really matters. The only emperor is the emperor of ice cream. What does that mean? Well, as we've discussed, it could mean a couple of things, but my preference is to say that it means the only way to have power and control and be a leader is to just confine yourself to controlling your own life, your time on this earth, the life that you have, that you need to make the most of. It's up to you to be the emperor of your own ice cream. Oh, well, there's so many other ways to look at this poem too, but I hope this helped you understand the main mechanics of it, and that you'll keep thinking about what those lines might mean, who the emperor might be, what ice cream really means, and all these kinds of questions, and tell me what you think in the comments. Oh, and if you want to cite this video, I'll show you how to do that. Hope you'll join me for another video sometime.